Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. I just saw a little bit of information here that I found to be pretty interesting and I wanted to share with you guys. Recently, Daisy Ridley was on the DragCast and she spoke about how she felt about the backlash that was levied towards the rise of Skywalker over these past few months, as well as why she left social media a few years back. Because there used to be a little bit of a rumor that the reason she walked away from everything had to do with fanboy bullying, similar to how Kelly Marie Tran left her Instagram account. But Daisy Ridley in the podcast, she says this: I think everybody tried to mold that into something else. It wasn't really a story, like I was asked to go on it. And at the time I was like, okay. And then it sort of got to the point where I didn't want to be on it. And I found the bit of that quote to be interesting, that Disney and Lucasfilm would have asked her back then to make an account and kind of monitor what she says or doesn't say on there, and that she ultimately did not want to keep up with it. And it reminds me a lot of how Hayden Christensen from the prequel trilogy, you never see him on social media either. And I always thought that, yeah, she got bullied and pushed off there, but she goes on to say, I was at my friend's house in LA and I remember being like, oh, I don't want to be on Instagram. And they were like, well, why don't you come off? And I was like, oh, it was really a nice autonomous decision, because I was like, oh, I don't actually have to be on it. This is nice. And I always had like a limit to what I shared anyway. And honestly, my life isn't that exciting. So there was just a lot of separate things. And this right here definitely gives me an idea of her attitude towards social media. You know, there's a lot of people that are kind of harping on her for any time that she mentions Backlash, or, you know, whether it's The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens or anything. It's always, she comes back to social media. People are just getting on social media and complaining and this or that. And I don't really think that's where she's getting at. I think she's just an old soul. She's not that type of person that gets on the internet and interacts with people. I think she prefers an actual face-to-face interaction. And that kind of comes through with this next quote, which she says, a lot of what I believe in is about communication and less distractions or whatever. I don't like phones at tables, all of that sort of stuff. Now, I'm sure all of you have that one relative, that aunt, that grandma, maybe your mom or dad, that get on you for having your phone out while you're at the dinner table or while you're out at a family gathering. They just kind of get on your ass about it. And that kind of comes off as the type of person that Daisy is. And that would make a lot of sense why she would just kind of go, oh yeah, social media, blah, 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 crazy. At least to an extent. I mean, recently she read a storybook, a little Star Wars storybook for everybody, since everything's just been so crazy here lately. And I thought that was really cool of her to do. Now, I'm not sure if Lucasfilm or Disney reached out and asked her to do that. She says in the interview that she's been unemployed since December. I assume contracts are up, but she's still cool with everybody and down to do it. And like I say, she's okay with having them post it for her, but when it comes to her having an account herself and engaging, that's just not her thing. I can't hate on that, because I mean, until I got on the internet, there's a lot of things I didn't realize people thought, and I was like, oh wow, like for example, the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I thought everybody liked those movies as a kid. I was 7 years old when The Phantom Menace came out, so 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, when I get online and see everybody just trashing those movies, it was a shock. I'm like, what? People didn't like those? But it's very much a thing. And in a way, getting online and seeing what people are saying, I mean, I understand that everybody has their opinions, and that's fine, but it kind of made me second guess if I had bad taste, if maybe there was something wrong with me for liking those movies, and it kind of just dampened my enjoyment for what I had blissfully enjoyed before, having the knowledge of what other people and the masses kind of felt about those movies. And, you know, you kind of see that today where maybe you like something, but you're afraid to kind of come out and say it because there's just so many more people that just don't like it. And they're going to tell you, hey, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. This sucks. And, you know, it kind of makes you second guess yourself. So when it comes to that, you know, I can understand where she's coming from. And, it's definitely evident in what she has to say about the rise of Skywalker. She says this: "I watched the documentary, The Making of, this week, and it's filled with love. And then people, everyone is entitled to not like something, but it feels like it's changed slightly. But I think in general that's because of social media and what have you. I guess now conversations are just more public, so there's stuff I wouldn't have seen. But honestly, trying to scroll through my newsfeed in January and trying not to see Star Wars stuff, I'd see headlines and be like, oh my god, this is so upsetting." So it's been tricky, but then it's having that thing of, I feel really proud and I'm so thrilled to be a part of it. It's a funny thing. And so the way she words this kind of backs up what I'm thinking. Because like I say, when she mentions that there was stuff she wouldn't have otherwise have seen, she also mentions earlier that she wonders where the love's gone between The Force Awakens and now. And like I say, I know she continually kind of pushes it on social media and the internet, and everybody just kind of creating noise, and she just wants to silence the static, and I get that. Well, you'll have to check out the podcast yourself. Her inflections kind of gives it away too, because she's not being stern. She's not being like, this sucks, this is a matter of fact, and like it's very passive the way she does it. You'll have to just kind of check for yourself and hear the way that she says it, because there's definitely no sense of animosity or anger towards it. It's just kind of like, hey, look, I worked my ass off on these movies, which she definitely did. I mean, if you've ever seen her workout videos, her training videos, she on her end put in a lot of effort and a lot of work. And I know that a lot of us feel that the character might have been underwritten, or, was geared towards an agenda, this or that, or whatever you believe. And that's not really anything that Daisy Ridley has done. That's not anything that she is trying to do. She's an actress, and her job and what she gets paid for is to just do her part, read her lines, work her ass off, train, make the best of what she's given, and run with it. I mean, same with the actors in the prequels. And so I think from her end, she's just proud of what she's done. I mean, she's come a long way physically. She trained hard for the role of Rey. And though she says it's upsetting and it does suck to get on and see headlines about that, herself, with her being the sum of her parts and what she's brought to it, she's proud of. And like I say, she's not the type of person to get caught up in what's being said on Twitter or on Instagram or on YouTube or what I'm saying. She could get on this video and give it about what I'm saying. I mean, but in a way that's kind of liberating. And if that's the way she wants to look at it, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. She wasn't in the editing room. She's not the one who took George's script and tossed him in the trash. She's not the one who wrote Rey or created her or anything like that. She is an actress, and she did her part pretty damn well, if you ask me. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and let's have a conversation. Take care. See you around.